Welcome aboard the BESETO Express. We'll cover 3 countries: Bei, Beijing in China, Sei, Seoul in Korea, and To, Tokyo in Japan. Together we'll explore the culture of BESETO. All aboard the BESETO Express.
Humans were once very dependent on nature. However, over the many years, humans have come to gain their independent space through many trials and errors. When rains and storms came, caves and dugout huts were sought for shelter. Then, humans started to make stronger and safer houses, creating a unique culture of housing. The houses of the 3 BESETO countries reflect the status of its dweller. Houses of China are structured according to a standing culture, a style of house similar to the West. A simple atmosphere can be felt in houses of Japan. Japanese houses, with their various doors used to alter space, use interior space in the most efficient ways. Korean houses are made to adjust to the 4 distinct seasons. They're cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Now, let's travel inside the houses of the 3 BESETO countries.
I'm Doris Han from BESETO Express. I'm sure each of you have been to at least one housewarming party, right? That's when you invite your close friends and family members to your new home to show it off or just to receive blessings. So today on our show, we're going to invite every one of you to housewarming parties of China, Korea, and Japan. But take note while you're watching that the exterior of each home is representative of that country's culture. But once you get inside, the interior is even more apparent of that reason. So join me today as we learn about the unique characteristics of homes of the BESETO region.
The tile-roofed house, giwachip, is the most representative form of Korean traditional houses. Such houses are structured in special shapes. The most common form is the square with one side missing. There is also the straight line shape. There is also a maru in the center of a tile-roofed house. This maru is an area to keep cool in the summer. And the sarangche, located in the outer part of the house, is an area for men. The straw-roofed house, chogachip, also has similar structures. Straight-line shaped houses with rooms on either side of the maru are typical. Let's go inside the rooms. In most Korean traditional houses, opening the bedroom door leads you directly into the bedroom. The master's bedroom is where the lady of the house resides. It's usually tidy and graceful. The furniture has been well polished over the years, and the shinier it is, the higher its value. The master's bedroom is the largest room in the house. It is not only a place for sleep, but also a place for greeting guests and studying. The most important aspect is the window. It helps circulate the outside fresh air and dusty air of the inside. What makes this possible is the changhoji, papers on the window. Changhoji is called the paper that breathes. How is changhoji made? The first step is to soak the bark of the mulberry tree and beat it. The fiber of the mulberry tree obtained by this process is passed through a strainer, and the fiber papers are piled one by one. If this is not done with care, the whole process needs to be restarted from the very beginning. Dried changhoji is great paper that has a life of 1,000 years. It is paper which wind, light, and sound can pass through. Let's take a look at the metal decorations that adorn the bedroom doors. They are rather simple. The round-shaped decorations give off a feeling of comfort, but they have strong and secure characteristics too. The changhoji is stuck on from the inside, so when seen from the outside, the lattice can be seen. The simple yet open windows and doors have various forms. The area only for women, the kitchen. The Korean kitchen is a place for preparing and cooking food. The kitchen is connected to the room of the lady of the house, adding convenience.
여름에는 대청에서 생활을 하고 대청은 앞이 트여 있고 뒤에는 들창이 있어가지고 공기 순환이 잘 되고 맞바람 친다고 그럽니다. 안방은 부엌하고 달려 있기 때문에 음식을 만들 때 그 열기로 가지고 난방을 할 수 있기 때문에 그 열기로 겨울을 지날 수 있는 보온 효과를 가지고요. 그래서 우리나라 집은 여름과 겨울이 공존하는 그런 구조의 형태를 가지고 있습니다.
Chinese traditional houses are not well revealed from the outside, stirring up curiosity about what's inside. But if you open the door and go in, you'll notice, first of all, the tang. Most Chinese houses are centered around the tang, where the master of the house dwells and guests are greeted. Bedrooms are located on either side of the tang. Such customs of traditional houses are the same for houses of the common people. Even minority tribes in remote areas grew accustomed to the tang and still use it. Now let's travel inside. Unlike Korea or Japan, the Chinese use chairs and they also sleep on beds. So other furniture is made to suit the lifestyle of this standing culture. Unlike the closed houses of the north, houses with many windows can be found in the southern, warmer regions. Most houses like these are located near water for convenience.
들어가면서 당이라는 게 있어서 거기서 이제 음식을 만든다든가 또는 거실로서 사용을 한다든가 하는 그런 모습의 당이 있고, 그리고 좌우나 또는 이제 오른쪽 쪽으로 와당 또는 와실이라고 그래서 지금 침실이 있죠. 예, 그렇게 나눠져 있습니다. 그 다음에 신을 신고 다 생활을 하는 집안에서 그리고 의자에 앉는 입식 생활을 한다는 게 이제 중국의 지금까지도 그런 모습을 찾아볼 수 있고요.
A nation of diverse wooden houses, Japan. If you observe the inside of a Japanese house, you will be able to see that the space is divided by doors. If all the doors are opened, it becomes one area where even the outside scenery can be seen. The interior of Japanese houses use wood. On the living room floor, a thick, square floor mat, tatami, is laid. The tatami is used as a standard to measure the size of a house. In the past, rooms that used tatami were only for aristocrats. Tatami rooms in houses of commoners were for guests.
日本の建築っていうのは床の高さによって身分を示すんです。ですから偉い人ほど上に座る、そういうことがありますね。ですからその偉い人の座るところを一段高くするっていう意味からまず畳っていうのが作られて、ただ畳っていうのはイグサという草でできてますから非常に気持ちいいんですよね。
Windows of Japan are also made with half-transparent paper, shoji. And the border lines of rooms are made with a wooden frame with paper called fusuma. In the front of a room with a tatami floor, there is always a tokonoma. The tokonoma, which is made high on a shelf, is where the Japanese god or Buddha is kept. Nowadays, writings, paintings, or sculptures are put in place of the Buddha. But this area can be said to be the starting point of the family's living and the center of the house to the Japanese people.
Since the weather and the surrounding environment of Korea, China, and Japan are all different, so are each country's way of dealing with the cold, hard winter. For example, strong winds are very strong in China, and in Japan, the weather is hot, humid, and very prone to earthquakes. In Korea, the four seasons are very distinct. Let's take a look now at each country's unique way of dealing with the cold.
Let's take a look at the heating system of China. The Chinese standing culture developed around the 12th century. So naturally, Chinese heating systems emphasize heating the air. The Chinese used wood to heat their houses. To the Chinese people who had lived with this standing culture, such a heating system is a natural result. But if we travel to the far north, where it's colder, we can see ondo, underfloor heating systems connected directly to the bed. By looking at this diagram, you can also see it was used for cooking. When we observe the structure of modern houses of China, the ondol culture no longer remains. That shows how well the Chinese people are accustomed to the standing culture.
중국은 이제 입식 생활을 하면서 또 바닥이 흙바닥이다 보니까 아무래도 화로나 난로 같은 것을 많이 뗐고 또 일부분의 주방에서는 갱이라는 우리 전면 온돌이 아닌 부분 온돌로서 그런 것을 침대화해가지고 데펴갖고 떼는 부분 온돌도 사용을 했었죠.
Excluding the mountainous areas, Japan has warmer winters than Korea or China. The Japanese heating device called the gadachi looks similar to a barbecue pit. A pot usually hangs over a burning gadachi, and vapor comes out of the pot as water in it boils. When this hot vapor surrounds the room, coldness is no longer a problem. In the cold winter, the whole family gathered around the gadachi and shared stories and laughs. What's unique about Japanese heating systems is the complete division between heating and cooking. It's up to the gadachi to warm all the rooms, so the gadachi can be found in most rooms that are divided by doors.
まず一番中心となるのは囲炉裏というものです。これは料理をするための火を焚くところなんですけれど、それだけじゃなくて家全体を照らす明かりの役割もありますし、それから家族が団らんするための中心、象徴的な役割もありました。今でも日本人はこたつを好んで使いますが、ああしたこたつは近代になってからのものです。
Let's find out about the traditional heating systems of Korea. With Korea's long winters, the unique underfloor heating system called ondol was first developed. When a fire is made in the fireplace, which is connected with the rooms, the smoke is released outside. Unlike Western chimneys, Korean chimneys are not large or wide. The heat is delivered to the rooms via ducts, slowly heating the floors of the rooms. What's unique about the ondol is that when the fire is made only once, the floor remains warm the whole day. Let's find out how the ondol is made. First, the floor of the room where the ondol will be put is hardened. Then, 2 holes are dug so that the heat will not leak through the chimney. Now, the most important process. Large stones and mud are used to make the ducts in which the heat will be transferred. This completed passage is called the gore. Then the gudur, which will become the actual floor, is laid. Thick rocks are put over the place around the fireplace where the heat is strongest, and places that are far away from the fire are covered with thin rocks. The gudur is easy to dismantle because it hangs on top of the gore, so the gudur is secured with small stones. Mud is used to block the gaps which smoke can leak through. When the work is finished, a fire is made to see where the smoke may be leaking. If the places where the smoke leaks are not properly blocked at this stage, it may cause problems later on. At last, mud mixed with straw is spread on top to smoothen the floor. Straw is mixed in to stop the cracking of the mud when it is dried. The Korean underfloor heating system, ondol, is a technique that came from experience.
그 온돌 그 화강석 판을 데피는 걸 전도라, 뜨겁게 하는 걸 전도라고 그럽니다. 그 전도열이 공기층으로 퍼져 나오는 걸 복사열이라고 그럽니다. 그 퍼져 나온 열이 방 안을 도는 게 대류라고 그럽니다. 그 세 개의 구조를 우리 온돌은 다 가지고 있습니다. 그래서 참 과학적입니다. 네.
Now that you've seen and been into the houses of the BESETO countries, I'm sure you're more familiar with and accustomed to the way those people live. But of course, much has changed since thousands of years have passed to raise the standards of life. If you ever get a chance to visit the BESETO region, I'm sure you'll find it worth your while, plus a fulfilling experience to visit one of these houses. But if you don't, just keep watching our show. See you next time.
The houses of the 3 BESETO countries, where the house, nature, and man become one. Made with the easiest material obtainable from nature to build a house that harmonized with nature. The traditional houses of the 3 BESETO countries were living things that provided nature's assets to help man.